Edmonton police are urging people to think before calling 911.
Fans came together in Churchill Square to say one last farewell to Rexall Place.
The Edmonton Motor Show has returned with a highly anticipated car making its debut.
Welcome to Second Edition News. Edmonton Police have launched a new initiative to reduce the number of non-emergency calls coming into 911 dispatchers.
So far this year, the EPS call center has received over 90,000 calls, with almost 37,000 calls being a non-emergency. EPS are trying to inform people on the importance on knowing the difference between an emergency and non-emergency call.
Edmonton 911 emergency. Do you require police, fire, or ambulance?
No, I'm just, I got a lot of dogs here. I don't really know who to call about it.
Edmonton police receive almost 400,000 911 calls a year. Of those calls, approximately 150,000 are non-emergencies. Police say knowing the difference between an emergency and non-emergency call can save someone's life.
And then we're going to something that really doesn't require an emergency response. So the message is, please don't call 911. There's other options and other ways to get a hold of a police officer.
Edmonton police are now sharing this message on social media. People are urged not to hesitate to call 911 when necessary, but if the situation is a non-emergency, to call pound 377 instead.
Alberta food banks are launching a new food drive this May, but this food drive has a twist. The Real Food Drive is a new program being launched by Alberta Food Banks as a way to bring in more donations of fresh produce by using an online platform. Representatives from food banks across Alberta came to Edmonton to announce the first Real Food Drive.
We're really excited to say that this is the first in Canada. It's making its debut in Alberta. We will be doing a 4-week campaign starting in the mid of May, and our goal really is to raise as much fresh and nutritious food as we can to share with 66 food banks around the province.
At this time of year, Alberta food banks say that donations seem to drop, but the need for food does not. If you would like to find out how to donate, visit albertafoodbanks.org for more information.
Edmontonians came together in Churchill Square to say one last goodbye to Rexall Place.
So let's give our respect to that building and the people who ran it.
Fans of all ages gathered in Churchill Square on Wednesday to say farewell to Rexall. This celebration was centered around the Oilers as approximately 150 alumni were present. Fans were seen celebrating both the old and the new generation of Oilers.
I feel that's going to be quite emotional for everyone. Rexall did serve the Oilers well. It's been a great place for them. It's now time for a new arena.
During the celebration, former Oilers such as Jason Strudwick, Ryan Smith, and Mark Messier came to the podium and shared their memories from Rexall Place. The Oilers will start their next season in Rogers Place this fall.
Well, final season is right around the corner for many, but this time of year can put a lot of pressure on students. Exam season is something students from as early as elementary have a difficult time dealing with. From stress to even depression, many students feel overwhelmed and unsure how to deal with it. Thankfully, schools have become better equipped in recent years to deal with these issues.
Definitely after midterms, before and after midterms is a high peak point. At this point, students are highly stressed, but they're so busy doing projects. We're still very busy, but it's not actually our peak because they have so many things to study for and hand in at the end.
Outside of student counseling, Nate and Natesa have put on events such as late-night study sessions in the library, offering massage therapy as a stress reliever, and having a therapy dog roam campus, all in efforts to help students cope with the stress.
Nate hosted the Edmonton Regional Science Fair this past weekend, and students from across the city looked to showcase their smarts and creativity. Over 280 students from grades 4 to 12 worked on 206 different inventions and projects for a chance to represent Edmonton in the Canada-wide Science Fair in Montreal next month. Students combined science and creativity for their projects, with one student even building a hoverboard.
Well, now the hovercraft's actually finished, but making it work a little bit better, I found the best way to do that is to actually use it a little bit more.
The competition's goal is to get students involved and interested in the research process from an early age and to promote scientific inquiry and critical thinking.
The Edmonton Automotive Expo returned this past weekend, and eventgoers had a chance to see a very special car that will not be showcased anywhere else in Canada.
Sold at $800 up top.
Car manufacturers from around the world gathered at Northland's Expo Centre to showcase their newest models of cars, trucks, and SUVs, show off new technologies and improvements on existing ones, and tease potential prototypes. Visitors had the chance to get up close and personal with their next potential big buy, as well as having the chance to auction on some classics up for sale.
There isn't really a specific one. There's a number of cars that I wanna look at that are sort of potentially on the list, but I can't say there's one specific one.
The special car for the event? Well, it was the Lexus LC500, one of only 2 currently in existence. Acura also showcased the highly anticipated NSX, another highlight of the event. The expo also featured some interactive exhibits for those in attendance, such as virtual reality racing.
Time now to check up on sports. Ethan Smythe joins us now for more.
That's right, Angie, and I hear FC Edmonton played in their home opener over the weekend.
Well, they sure did, Carter, and I've got all that and more coming up for you in sports right now. FC Edmonton returned home on Sunday following a 0-0 draw in their season opener against Rayo OKC. The team is looking for an improvement on their 7th place finish last season where they failed to make the playoffs. Eddie's fans came out in full force to watch their club's home opener against Minnesota United. Minnesota gets an early opportunity here, this one courtesy of Christian Ramirez, but Matt Van Oekel stands tall, making a spectacular save. They strike first here, however, as in the 16th minute, Ben Spies finesses one past Van Oekel to give Minnesota the 1-0 lead. Tomi Amiobi scored 7 goals for the club last season, and here he gets a great chance on the cross from Pablo Cruz, but he cannot finish as Sami Najok smothers it. Picking it up now 1-0 just after the half, and Spies finds the back of the net once again to put Minnesota up 2-0. Some rough stuff here around the 60th minute as Nick Ledgerwood gives Danny Cruz a shove. He wants no part of this. New FC Edmonton striker Jake Keenan enters the game late, and he gets this chance from the edge of the box, but Najok is there to punch it away. The Eddies remain without a win in their first 2 matches, and coach Colin Miller is displeased with their performance. He expects better efforts from his club at home.
It is what it is. The guys, they don't need a roasting here after the game. They know that by our standards at home, this was a flat performance.
The Spruce Grove Saints had an opportunity to head to the AJHL Finals on Friday in Game 5 of their series against the Lloydminster Bobcats. The Saints head into the game leading their series 3-1, and they get off to a good start here as Jake McKittick skips one by Alex Leclerc, putting the Saints up 1-0. Midway through the first now, and the Bobcats get the puck behind the net. Christian Lloyd sets up Kevin Durar in front of the net, and he rips it past Matthew Murray, making it tied up at 1. Shortly afterwards, Saints hear future Penn State Nittany Lion Brandon Byro lets a shot go through traffic. Leclerc sees it all the way, and we head to the dressing room, tied at 1. To the second we go now. Byro makes an outstanding play to keep it alive. Leclerc loses sight of it, and Jake McKittick finds it to put home his 2nd goal of the game, giving the Saints a 2-1 lead. The Bobcats were left looking for answers heading into the third, down 2-1 and down 2 men, and the Saints would capitalize. Scott Ferguson finishes the tic-tac-toe, giving the Saints a 2-goal lead. Their fate was sealed here as Trey Fix-Wolanski wins the foot race to the puck, going glove slide on Leclerc, making it 4-1 Saints. That would be your final score as the Saints take this series in 5 games. The Saints move on to play the Brooks Bandits in the AJHL Finals. That series begins Friday, April 15th at 7 p.m. in Spruce Grove. The Nadukes had a very successful run across the board in 2015-16. On the ice, the men captured a perfect 36-0 season, while the women took home a silver medal. The men's basketball team won the CCAA National Championships in Fort McMurray, and the women's curling team won bronze in their CCAA National Championships in London, Ontario. Part of the Ukes' key to success is maintaining stability within the programs and keeping athletes around as long as possible.
Our teams are more mature, gives us a leg up against other teams where they may be just a college transfer program. So that's how we're going to maintain our ability, by retaining good athletes for a longer period of time.
The Ukes collected plenty of hardware in other sports as well, and for more details on their historic season, visit nape.ca/athletics. That wraps it up in sports this week. Definitely lots to cheer about.
And with the Ukes' historic season, let's hope they can keep up the momentum going into next season.
That's all for Second Edition News this week. Thanks for watching.